boys and girls, and welcome to another Art with Miss Taub video. You might notice something a little different about me. Oh, that's right. My hair is bright blue. I really feel more like myself when I have brightly colored hair. If you could dye your hair any color, what color would you pick? I bet you would choose your favorite color. Well, today we're not talking about color, but we are talking about a different element of art. Remember, the elements of art are the ingredients that we use to make art. We have lines and shapes and value and color and form. And today's element is an element that we talked about a little bit in school with our cardinal collages in 2nd grade, with our color wheel birds on the branch in 1st grade, and in kindergarten with our fuzzy monsters. That gives you a clue about what element we're talking about. That's right, we're talking about texture. Texture is the way that something feels or the way that it looks like it feels. Looks like it feels. If you were to draw a fuzzy monster and then you were to touch your drawing, would it really be fuzzy? No, but it could look fuzzy by the way that you draw it. And that is what I mean by the way that something feels or looks like it feels. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about different types of textures before we get started. So for our first one, I'm wearing this sweater today. Why do you think I love this sweater? It feels very soft. Soft is a really good texture word. Here's something that I wouldn't want to make a sweater out of. You guys know what this is? This is sandpaper. Sandpaper is really rough, and what it's used for is to make wood super smooth. So before you use sandpaper on wood, it's usually a little bit rough and maybe you can even get a splinter. But after you use sandpaper, it becomes super smooth. Super smooth like this moonstone that I have. This moonstone is very shiny and you can tell that it has a very smooth surface. And it makes me want to carry it around with me all day. I also have these. Miss Taub, what are those? These are squishy, soft snowballs from Target that would not hurt if I threw them at you. I have this spiky ball. This spiky ball is another texture word, spiky. What type of animal would have spiky skin? Maybe a hedgehog? One more thing. I have this, a strawberry. A strawberry has textures on it. This strawberry has seeds all over it, and the seeds give it a strawberry texture. If you were to draw a strawberry, by adding these seeds to your drawing, you are creating a texture and you can really tell that it's a strawberry. Delicious. Today what we're going to do is first we're going to go on a hunt for different textures, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Then we're going to be creating an art based on those textures. Oh, I got one more texture to show you.
This is my kitty cat, Zippy. He is the best texture in the whole wide world. He's soft, he's fuzzy, and he's warm. My old man.
Are you ready to make some texture art? Zippy, are you ready to make some texture art? What I'd like for you guys to do today is you're going to go on a texture hunt. And the materials you'll need for a texture hunt are computer paper or lined paper, as long as that paper is thin enough that when you do a rubbing over top of it, you will get your textures. You're also going to need some naked crayons. Now, if you don't have naked crayons at home, I'm going to show you exactly how to make them. Usually when I make naked crayons, I make sure that I take the crayons that are broken from inside my crayon box, and then I soak them in soapy water. I let it sit there for about 30 minutes or so, and then it's really easy to peel all the paper off of your crayons. Look at all these colors that I have to choose from. I'm just going to stick with a couple of colors to start. Find something you think has a cool texture that you would like to use for your artwork. First, you're going to place your computer paper over top of your texture. I like to hold my paper down with my helper hand so that it doesn't move too much when I create my rubbing. I'm going to use the side of my crayon, not the tippy top like we would normally color, but the side. It's important to use the side to push or pull the crayon and create pressure on top so that your texture shows through. Now notice how much of the page that I've filled up in a short amount of time. That's because I'm using more of the crayon by coloring on its side. Now if you like it just one color, that's fine, you can leave it. But what I like to sometimes do is rotate or turn the page and then take a new color and overlap on top of my first rubbing. Your texture will still come through, but now it's a little bit more special because it is 2 colors instead of 1. Now it's time for you guys to go on a hunt around the house for different textures. Here's a placemat that I found that made a cool texture. This table is made out of tiles that my dad made. I even went outside and made a texture rubbing of my driveway. I even did a rubbing of the siding on my house, which was actually one of my very favorites. And I went to my backyard and did my fence, which was really cool because it showed all the wood grain. Once you have a big collection of texture rubbings, I want you to do 2 things. The first thing I want you to do is please have a parent or guardian fill out the Google form so that I know you've done this week's assignment. Then I want you to keep these texture rubbings in a very special place because next week we are going to be using them to create artwork. I can't wait to see all the cool textures that you guys find around your house. Have fun!